I want to welcome everyone today to the Mental Edge Leadership Channel. We're going to jump in today with a great self-reflection question. I love self-reflection questions because it really gives you the opportunity to look inside, give yourself that analysis, go down this checklist of personal accountability and see where you stand in your personal leadership. And that's what we're going to do today. We're really going to dive into this question. You see, we know that leadership is exactly, let me rephrase it this way, leading other people is a great reflection of how we live and lead ourselves. People are going to be watching how we lead. They can hear the words that we speak, but our actions are going to speak louder than our words. So the question I want to ask you today, and what I want to propose is, are you leading a life worth imitating? That's the question. Ask yourself that today. Am I leading a life worth imitating? You see, there's an old saying that says the example that you set is not the main thing, it's the only thing. The example that we set. What example are you setting to the people that you're leading? You can say one thing and say you want to lead this way, but the example that you're leaving and leading says a whole nother story. So what we want to do is we really want to break down this checklist. Let's jump down. I've written a bunch of things, but on this side is all the positives, and on this side is all the negatives, and they correspond with each other. So let's go down and dissect our personal leadership attributes. So, question for ourselves today, if you want to jot this down, are you leading a life worth imitating? First thing is, are you kind or are you arrogant? People matter. People matter. People are the greatest resource that we'll ever have, because if we're not leading people, we're really not leading. So what kind of leader are you? Are you a kind leader? Do you care about the people that you're leading? Because people can see right through that if they're being used. You know, arrogance is that looking at people and just using them for the next thing we can get out of them. And it's just a matter of time until people realize that. So whether you're a coach, whether you're a teammate, whether you're a business leader, are you kind to people? Do you have grace for people? When people mess up, are you the first one to jump down their throat and always be correcting? Are you catching people doing things right? Great leaders catch people doing things right and honor them and build equity with them. And then that way they have enough deposits made that when they have to go make a withdrawal from their lives, there's enough deposits in them. Are you walking around with a kind spirit? Do people enjoy being around you? Or is there an arrogant spirit? I'm the captain. I'm the coach. I'm the boss. I'm in charge. Great reflective question to start this off. Are you kind or are you arrogant? The second question to ask ourselves, it kind of runs right along this same track, is are you considerate or are you rude? The difference in this question is, how do you communicate? When you communicate, how are you coming across? Because we talked in one of the earlier lessons about our nonverbals speak louder than the words we say. What's your demeanor look like? Are you considerate? Are you engaged with people? Or are you rude? Are your arms always crossed? Is your vocabulary going towards them aggressive, attacking, using the words you, I, you, I? Are we considerate? Do we consider others' feelings when we speak? There's ways to correct and ways to realign and ways to guide and direct people and still be honoring and considerate. We don't have to be rude. Great leaders are considerate, not rude. The third thing we talk about is, are you generous or are you selfish? Are you a giver? I'm a firm believer in this, that the world of the generous gets larger and larger. That you cannot outgive generosity. You know, it always comes back. It always comes back to us being generous to others, sowing seeds into others. It's one thing to say we want to help others, but it's a whole other thing to actually get involved and be that person. Do you have eyes to see needs that are out there? Because we have to have those eyes. We can get so laser focused on our destiny and destinations that we overlook people in need. Can we see with a heart and mind of generosity? Or is it all about just chasing that next dollar, Is it about chasing that next promotion? Is it about chasing that next accolade? Are we generous or are we selfish? People can see right through that. People can see through a heart of selfishness. There's an old saying, and it's in the Bible that people say, well, money is the root of all evil. No, that's not true. That Bible verse actually says it's the love of money. It means if that's your passion, if that's all you're pursuing and going after with that selfish mentality, then it becomes a hindrance for us because we're not living out of a heart of generosity. So in your leadership, are you living a life worth imitating with generosity or selfishness? The next one, are you trustworthy or are you deceptive? How are you with your words? Are you clear in your words? Can people trust you? If you make a promise to someone and say, you know what, I'm going to be here at this time, do you show up? Or are you full of excuses? Oh, well, this came up and this happened. Are you trustworthy? Can you speak the truth? Do people trust you? Trust is the greatest thing that we possess as a leader. People will never follow us if they don't first trust us. So the question today is, can you be trusted? Or are you deceptive? Do you speak out of both sides of your mouth? When you're with this group of people, do you speak one way? When you're over here, you speak this way? Can you be trusted? Deceptiveness leads to nowhere. And it's just a matter of time before people see through deceptive mindsets. The next one is caring. Are you caring or are you insensitive? It kind of goes back to the first two we talked about. Do you care about people you're leading? Do you care about your teammates? Do you care about the athletes you're coaching? Do you care about the employees you have? Are you caring or are you insensitive? When we value people for who they are and what they're worth, then we're caring, then we're considerate, then we're listeners more than we're speaking. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. We should listen to someone twice as long as we talk to them. Are you caring? Are you caring about the voice of the people around you? Do you really even care about what their concerns are, what their issues are? Are you concerned and caring? Next is loyal. Are you loyal or are you jealous? A jealousy is a nasty, nasty thing that brings many leaders down. Always wanting to chase that next plateau. Are you loyal to the cause? Are you loyal to the people that are on your team? Are you loyal to those around you? Are you committed to them? Are you sacrificial in their lives? Are you in it to win it? Are you in it to stay in the game? Or does jealousy pull your focus in a different direction? Do you use people as a plateau or a trampoline to just jump onto the next thing? That's jealousy. Loyalty breeds content. Loyalty grows people together. Longevity comes from loyalty. Are you in the trenches with those around you? And they know that you're in there. They know you're not jumping ship. They know that you're not jealous, focused over here. They know that you're zeroed in on the mission at hand. Next is, are you confident or are you anxious? Confidence, don't confuse confidence with arrogance. There's a big difference between confidence and arrogance. Confidence is being secure in where you are. It's secure in who you are. You're not someone else. You don't have someone else's gifts and skill set. You have been gifted with your own skill set. Being confident in who you are, the practices you put in place, the disciplines you have in your life, you can walk into any environment with your head up, your shoulders back, and walk with confidence. Are you filled with confidence or are you filled with anxiety? Anxiety comes from self-doubt, speaking into yourselves. And I'm going to talk about this in a later lesson, that in our minds we have these different rooms that we have the choice to be in. The room, the positive room that has all the good accolades in your life. You've prepared, you've worked hard, you're disciplined, you're strengthened. You can choose to be in that room, or you can be in that room of self-doubt, worry, fear, anxiety. What if this happens? You have to choose to walk out of that room of anxiety and put yourself in that room of confidence in your mind. Speak when you're in certain circumstances and situations. Speak into your own life. Speak into your own life. Say, you know what? I'm confident. I can do this. I can work through this situation. I will get through this. So are you confident or are you anxious? Great question. Are you leading a life worth imitating? Do people see you as a confident individual or anxious? Going right along with this, are you brave or are you timid? Are you brave or are you timid? Will you speak up as a leader? Will you speak up as a teammate on the field? Will you speak up as a coach? Will you speak up as a business leader? Will you speak up when someone is being wrong? Will you speak up when you see something wrong? Or will you just conform to the patterns of the world around you and say, well, I can't change anything. Maybe someone else will do it. No, that's not an effective leader that's worth imitating. A great leader that's worth imitating will speak up when they need to speak up. People that change the world throughout history have always seen a need and a necessity and a wrong going on, and they speak up. They're brave enough to step out from the crowd and say, even if no one follows me, I'll lead. That's not a timid spirit. So we need to develop our leadership to have those minds to see things that are wrong and be brave enough to stand up and vocalize that. Next we have, are you optimistic or are you pessimistic? Kind of reflects back to that room you're in. When you see something, when you see people, let's specifically talk about people. Do you see the best in people? Or have you been scarred and burned enough times that you just wait for the opportunity for that person to fail and that person to fail you? Do you see the best in people? People have great qualities. Every one of us, none of us are perfect. None of us have life figured out. We all have things that we're working through, and we all have great attributes. What do you look for in people? Are you looking, great leaders try to pull out the best in people. Poor leaders are pessimistic, say, well, I knew they weren't going to do anything. Look, they're doing this and this and this. Are you optimistic or are you pessimistic? Are you seeing the best in people or are you waiting to find the worst? And last but not least, and I love this one, it's my favorite one. Are you wise or are you foolish? And this summarizes all of the attributes we talked about before. A wise leader is willing to learn. A wise leader is constantly learning. It doesn't matter where you are in your journey. A wise leader is willing to get up every day and say, I'm going to learn something new today. A wise leader is always self-evaluating. A wise leader is always reflecting inwards and not blaming their outward circumstances for what's going on in their lives. A wise person applies all of these attributes because they know that the lives that they reflect will draw the right crowd. Whatever vibes you're sending out, whatever you're displaying is what you're going to attract. So that's another great leadership lesson that we'll probably talk about going forward. If you want to see what kind of leader you are, look at the people you're attracting. What kind of people? Are you attracting negative people? You may be looking through a pessimistic mindset. Are you leading warriors and brave people? Then you're a brave person because people follow what people see. So I want to leave you with this. Live wisely, lead wisely, be a leader that's worth imitating. Don't be foolish and be pessimistic, arrogant, rude, selfish, deceptive, insensitive, jealous, anxious. All of these things reflect poor leadership. Let's look inside, develop the leader in you. Thanks for joining me today. I want to encourage you to subscribe to this channel. If you're not already, click the subscribe button. I'd love to have you join us. Hit like, share this with everyone you know, whether it's an athlete, a coach, a business leader, someone in the business world. We'd love to hear from you. You can shoot me a personal email. You can do that by emailing me at thementaledge2018 at gmail.com. Have a great day. We'll see you next week.